Hello, I'm Jan Brochinek, a Security Services Operations Manager with Integris. This presentation is a brief summary of some of the major cybersecurity trends that have been seen in this past quarter. State-sponsored breaches and embedding is not slowing down, with North Korea unapologetically stealing from, well, everyone, pulling off the biggest cryptocurrency heist ever at $1.5 billion. They've also embedded their citizens as Trojan horses, posing as ordinary workers in companies worldwide. And this is made all the more easier by remote work. All the while, they're spying and stealing for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to fund their weapons programs. Chinese state-sponsored actors continue to infiltrate telecom and other infrastructure, mostly through unpatched vulnerabilities, but also via unpublished zero-day exploits. Phishing, spearphishing, whaling, vishing, smishing, pickanishing is rampant, with AI enabling near-perfect-looking bait. Recently, Microsoft published an alert warning of QR code phishing inside of emails, specifically referencing the U.S. tax season as a catalyst. If a user scans the QR code, it takes them to a page that contains malicious software or credential harvesting forms. And I'm sure you've noticed the text message blizzard regarding unpaid tolls and parking fines continues unabated. Password hacking, account takeovers, and MFA bypass are the primary means of compromise that we've been seeing this past quarter. Any wannabe hacker can now buy or rent a phishing-as-a-service kit for pennies per compromised account. If a threat actor succeeds in getting a victim to man-in-the-middle site, then they steal the login session token, defeating whatever standard form of multi-factor authentication was in place. Phishing-resistant MFA, utilizing the FIDO2 standard, is still the best method to prevent this form of compromise, since it creates a cryptographic token between the device and account, something the man-in-the-middle attack can't grab. Two items that we at Integris offer to detect and remediate these account takeover attacks are XDR, Extended Detection and Response, and ITDR, Identity Threat Detection and Response. Both are backed by our 24/7 Security Operations Center that can identify and respond to successful attacks. And of course, we'd certainly prefer if the threat actor didn't succeed at all. AI, voice cloning, deepfakes, and vulnerabilities continue to increase at a steady pace, outstripping defenders' abilities to keep up. AI will be both our bane and our savior in this regard, as the processing capacity it promises will be necessary to stem the tide. I call AI a Pandora's box, because while Pandora did unleash a horde of evil onto the world, most forget that there was one item that remained in that box: hope. And while AI, our modern Pandora's box, has certainly made threat actors' jobs easier, the hope of AI enabling defensive responses is real and quickly being adopted. Supply chain attacks are an increasing target of sophisticated threat actors. Many companies have their defenses in a relatively good posture, but third-party connections and software interactions remain an Achilles heel due to how many of these connections and interactions exist. The sheer scope of vetting them all is nearly impossible. You can do everything right, but someone downline is breached and your data becomes compromised. Bybit's attack came about as a result of a third-party breach. An MSP was phished, and dozens of their clients experienced a ransomware incident via the MSP's remote monitoring and management system. The start of this year was rife with headline news of Chinese state-sponsored threat actors and how they'd infiltrated at least 9 telecommunication carriers, such as AT&T, Verizon, Lumen, Charter, and Windstream, to name a few. We might never know the full extent of what they managed to get. Just recently, a large commerce website was compromised and served up malware to visitors. Victims weren't browsing the dark web, they were on a legitimate car shopping site. And browser extensions are an oft-overlooked supply chain. Recently, dozens have been found to be doing malicious actions, with some having polymorphic abilities. Ransomware is getting more evil and is pivoting to less encryption and more exfiltration. Threat actors have discovered that the value of the data is often more than sufficient for a good payday, and they don't need to encrypt, causing massive disruptions to the victim and subsequently running the risk of nation-state responses. Instead, they steal and hold the data for ransom or simply sell it to the highest bidder. Fake tech support calls are growing. A favorite tactic is to flood a targeted victim with spam and then call the victim claiming to be from tech support, saying that they've noticed the spam. They then request remote control access to stop it. And while the spam storm does indeed stop, the victim's workstation and likely entire network is compromised due to the control that was given to the pretend tech support. Any company can be hit. Sam's, Grubhub, Rackspace, WoW, Oracle, and many more were all hit this past quarter, many via third-party connections. We must remain vigilant. Ransomware attacks are up significantly, and most successful attacks exfiltrate data for later nefarious use. A new troubling trend is personal threats via postal mail, email, and text, threatening victims' families, sending them photos of their homes and children that were purloined from their compromised workstations and networks. It's just plain evil. Fake CAPTCHA, malvertising, and scareware is everywhere. Threat actors continue to buy top billing on advertising engines and rotate in their malicious content. The latest of these items are pop-ups for fake CAPTCHA, or completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. They ask users to do a specific keyboard combination, and what most people don't realize is that they're copying PowerShell commands and then telling their computer to execute them, infecting themselves. Thankfully, we do offer tools to our clients that can detect that when this has been done. But at that point, the horse is already out of the corral, often necessitating extensive mitigation or a re-image of the affected workstation. It is expensive in time expended and lost productivity. And as long as threat actors make money off of their malvertising, it will continue. There's no stopping it. You can whack it all you want. Education is crucial. The best defense, and also the weakest link, is between the keyboard and the chair. That's why regular security awareness training is vital. Governance, risk, and compliance are now top of mind for many CIOs and CISOs. Recent personal liability cases that have held executives such as chief information security officers liable for breaches has many quite concerned, and they're looking for protections and assurances. AI continues to be an area of concern for most organizations, and having the proper GRC policies in place before Pandora's box of malevolence hits your company is crucial to the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your network and data. Proper GRC ensures that any use of AI is being used in a compliant manner, and when you throw quantum computing into the mix, it will dramatically change the security landscape by enabling systems to rapidly crack current encryption and protections. Our best projections are that we have less than 5 years before quantum computers have sufficient qubits, or computing power, to crack any existing encryption standard. It's important to plan now for how to navigate securely in a world of quantum computer-powered AI. For regular updates about cybersecurity issues and tech in general, check out the weekly red.security.news newsletter. Thank you, and remember, keep the shields up.